From our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Louise Hobart begins now.
A family in the state's south has been slapped with a $400,000 bill after a fire destroyed their property. Luckily, no one was hurt, but police say it could have easily burned out of control and potentially spread to nearby bushland.
Front stairs leading to rubble. A property police are calling a chalet turned to ash after a fire broke out in the early hours of this morning.
It was initially reported as they believed to be a bushfire, and then when crews have arrived, they've been able to establish that it wasn't the bush that was alight, it was actually the structure.
A neighbouring property sounding the alarm. Police and the Tasmania Fire Service arriving to the unoccupied Taroona property just after 3 a.m.
Essentially, when crews have arrived on scene this morning, they've found the structure fully engulfed, and that has essentially been destroyed by a fire.
Leaving the owners with a hefty bill.
Reported by the victim, we believe that the cost of the damage is around $400,000.
The property is on about a hectare of land, filled mostly with trees and shrubbery. Authorities say if it wasn't for the crews getting control of the fire early, the outcome could have been much worse.
Particularly with the warm weather that we've had of late and dry, obviously, leaf litter that is around present in this area, definitely there's always the risk of such a fire spreading. An
investigation into what caused the blaze is underway. Lily Thompson, 7 Tasmania News.
The Premier has been grilled in his first press conference since the release of a damning review into Tasmania's AFL stadium deal by economist Nicholas Gruen. Jeremy Rockliff defended the government's move to press on with the Macquarie Point precinct, despite the project's value found to be overestimated and its cost underestimated.
It's the one that will deliver the results. It's been long discussed, heavily scrutinised.
Ex-Lambie MP, now independent, Rebecca Pentland says she's disappointed in the Premier's response and doesn't support the plans as they stand.
You can't just cherry pick what you like out of those reports.
Jeremy Rockliff hasn't ruled out further negotiations with the AFL about the timeframes in the deal. The Premier is banking on a multi-million-dollar cash splash to help lure more domestic and overseas flights to and from Tasmania. Jeremy Rockliff confident the Apple Isle can compete with other states to attract more tourism dollars.
It's been nearly 3 months since Air New Zealand returned to Tasmanian skies after a brief hiatus last April.
We've had great success with our direct flights from New Zealand here to Tasmania in Hobart.
And the Premier is eager to build on that, launching a $5 million fund to entice other international carriers to set up return routes in Hobart, helping them offset costs and promotions to get off the ground.
Sometimes the revenue takes a little while to get going, and so those funds help to bridge that gap.
Asia pinpointed as the next target for new overseas connections, as discussions continue with airlines from Singapore and Hong Kong. Runway and terminal expansions proving to be a vital piece of the puzzle.
We haven't been able to really advance any conversations with international airlines at all without those airfield upgrades being done.
More interstate flights also in the sights of airport bosses.
Both the north and the south will benefit very, very much from these additional flights.
As domestic and international travel bounces back from the pandemic, the Apple Isle is in hot competition with other states vying for visitor dollars. But industry experts are confident in Tasmania's tourism numbers, welcoming around 1.3 million visitors annually.
We're really looking forward to seeing what this can achieve, because we know that with the opening of new markets, we see new visitors, we can see new business event markets come through.
Anthony Dodd, 7 Tasmania News.
Meanwhile, Launceston Airport is celebrating its busiest year on record. A little more than 1.4 million passengers travelled through last year, an increase of 4%. Freight numbers have also soared, with nearly 2,000 movements across the year. Parts of the northwest coast are in for a major facelift. Burnie City Council releasing its final draft of a new urban plan to transform the CBD. It hopes the proposal will make the city centre a more vibrant and engaging place to work, live, shop and socialise. Council is inviting the community to have their say on the plan until February 2. A growing number of Tasmanian families are facing debilitating financial concerns when it comes to funding their children's schools needs. As the impact of education inequality continues to worsen, One Support Service is helping thousands of kids access basic learning supplies.
Many parents are counting down the days until kids return to school, but the majority admit they're worried about affording all the items their children will need, and it's sparking a concerning trend.
If students don't feel comfortable attending school, if they don't have uniforms, if they may just stand out for the wrong reasons, then school attendance is it goes down.
A survey by the Smith family highlighting 9 in 10 families have concerns about funding everything kids will need throughout the year. The majority say buying digital devices and internet access needed for school is their biggest worry. Paying for activities outside of the classroom also on their mind, alongside paying for new uniforms, shoes and school excursions. An all too familiar worry for young people like Jane.
From a low-income family, it's just been a bit of a challenge for my family to support me and my sister.
The Smith family today launching its back to school appeal, hoping to financially assist 5,000 Tasmanian students by the end of next year, with hopes of improving educational outcomes, including Tasmania's dire literacy rate.
If school attendance goes down, results go down, and it cascades from there.
Recipients like Jane using her helping hand to study teaching, evening the playing field for all of those in the classroom.
I want to help them as I was helped by my teachers who were really supportive. I want to help other students who are in a similar spot that I was in.
Ruby Cairns, 7 Tasmania News.
For generations, peacocks have been a mainstay at Launceston's Cataract Gorge, and they're showing no signs of flying away anytime soon. A new muster is busy growing into their feathers as the landmark prepares for another changing of the guard.
A peacock population boom. The Cataract Gorge's New Year arrivals taking visitors by surprise.
A little surprised to see some babies, like we weren't expecting it. The kids are having a great time here.
It's wonderful to see little babies around, and yeah, the peacocks are just beautiful.
The tiny peachicks already lapping up their popularity, posing for pictures and enjoying the fame that goes with a family walk.
Thought we're just here for a little chairlift and seeing the sights, but to see peacocks and wallabies and baby peacocks is it's made our day.
The latest additions to the muster might still be young, but they're already up to some naughty tricks, joining the lunchtime rush without an invitation.
I imagine it's the food, but yeah, no, they're very friendly.
It concerns me that the mothers are teaching them how to get food from around the tables. They certainly should not be teaching their children how to do that.
While they might be cute, locals warn, don't let their beauty fool you.
It's lovely to see, but they're not natives and that sort of food's not particularly good for them.
Despite the questioning of their more human diet, their icon status remains supreme.
To see them still here is lovely.
It's also a time of new beginnings for the iconic Gorge restaurant. The council confirming its intentions to put the property up for rent, exploring the possibility of a 10-year lease. Victoria Risto, 7 Tasmania News. Redemption is up for grabs for the Hobart Hurricanes in their upcoming clash against the Melbourne Renegades, a team they lost to in their season opener. Victory tomorrow will make it a franchise record 6 wins in a row for the squad.
They come down to our home joint, we're going to play on a good pitch and we're going to show them how we've been playing all season. That's exciting.
The Hurricanes have already guaranteed their spot in the finals, and a win tomorrow will see at least one final played at Ninja Stadium next week. Meanwhile, selectors have made a call on the ODI Champions Trophy squad. Hurricanes captain Nathan Ellis receiving the call-up, and Pat Cummins is in despite an injury concern.
Good evening. Hobart, Devonport and Burnie all collaborated today to provide a high of 23 degrees. Launceston reached 28. However, 30 was the top today around the state at Bushy Park. Cressy and Ouse reached 29, Smithton 27, Grove 25, Low Head, St Helens and Friendly Beaches all 24, the Bass Strait Islands 23 and Strawn 22 degrees. A few isolated thunderstorms developed randomly over the northeast as patchy cloud moved over most of the state today. Convective cloud is over the eastern states as well as inland Australia, some cloud over WA and the tropics. Tomorrow, a weak ridge of high pressure pushes over Tasmania and a series of troughs lay over central Australia. The early southwest to southeasterly winds will tend more northeast to southeasterly during the afternoon tomorrow. They'll be up to around 10 to 20 knots. Moderate flood warning has been issued for the South Esk River, a minor flood warning for the St Paul's. Tuesday's forecast for Hobart becoming mostly sunny and 21, 20 the top for Adventure Bay, partly cloudy at Tarraleah, 26 the maximum. 27 for Launceston, a shower developing, 23 for Devonport and partly cloudy. 30% chance of a shower for Bridport, but mainly fine and 24. 22 for Burnie, mostly sunny for Strawn, 25 the high and 23 for Marrawar. St Helens tomorrow 21, a possible morning shower clearing from Swansea, 21 the maximum as well, and 25 on Flinders Island. Showers over the northwest on Wednesday, extending statewide during the day. Mostly fine on Thursday, apart from showers over the west and south, and back to mostly fine on Friday with afternoon sea breezes. Cloud clearing in Perth tomorrow, a possible late shower in Adelaide after a pretty warm day. A sunny 29 degrees in Melbourne tomorrow. Possible showers for Sydney and Brisbane. Patchy cloud about at the moment, 18 degrees in Hobart, 23 in Launceston, Devonport 21. I've heard the recent rains, Louise, have had you out in the garden pulling weeds. What's going on? Your groundskeeper and his crew still on holidays?
They are. You need to come back to work, Murph. Thank you for that. And that's all your news for this Monday night. I will be back later with updates. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you then. Good night.